Good afternoon, happy holidays, happy end of college football season, all of that jazz. To all of you college football fans out there who have been following your respective teams, not only this year, but every year. So before all of the trash talking commences, and believe me, it's already started, I wanted to just take a moment here to give my serious thoughts on this because when the rankings came out yesterday, first of all, I don't think anybody was surprised at the rankings the way they came out. At least I wasn't. Okay, I figured, and I even said leading into the rankings, or leading into the championship games rather, that if LSU went out there and blew out Georgia, they'd probably jump Ohio State no matter what happened with Ohio State. Of course, we saw Ohio State struggle for the first half against Wisconsin, and then they came and poured it all over them in the second half, just like I said that they would. It was almost exactly what I said would happen. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin is good enough to hang with Ohio State for 2 or 3 quarters, but they just don't have the talent to hang with Ohio State for 4 quarters. And that's exactly what happened. So there was no shock at the way this turned out. LSU 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3, which I've been saying as long as they went out, they'll stay at 3. I've been saying that for 4 weeks. And, of course, Oklahoma 4. Now, my first reaction to when the rankings were released was to come right here on YouTube and start the trash talking, start the 31-0, start the, Clemson's 3-0 versus Ohio State and all of that. I refrained myself from doing that. I wanted to give myself 24 hours to think about this logically and give you a logical and reasonable explanation for the way I think this is going to turn out. I didn't want to jump the gun. And by the way, there's still we got 3 weeks before the game starts. So there's still plenty of time for the trash talking. And if you're an Ohio State fan, lots of them, you guys have come on the channel this year. There's going to be plenty of that. So go ahead and brace yourself for it. I'm looking for the trash talk back. There'll be plenty of the 31-0. There'll be plenty of the 3-0 or 0-3 versus Clemson talk to happen. Trust me. All right, so just deal with it. Listen, if you can't handle the trash talk, then you might want to go ahead and just leave now because it's only going to get worse between now and December 28th when the game is kicked off. But here's my honest thoughts on this. Clemson orange, purple colored sunglasses aside, here's the reason. Now, first of all, I think that I've been very clear that I think that Clemson and Ohio State are the 2 most complete teams in football. Not taking anything away from LSU. I'm not upset with their spot, their ranking. Okay, I'm not Dabo Swinney playing the disrespect card. Clemson's being disrespected. I could care less. I could care less as long as they're in that top 4 where they're at. All right, so that's number 1. But I still think that Clemson and Ohio State are the 2 best teams in the country. It's just the way I feel. I feel like that Clemson's going to beat Ohio State. I don't know what I think the line opened up as Clemson a 2-point favorite or something like that. I don't know what it is now. It doesn't matter. The reason, and I'll give you several reasons here. Several reasons why I think that Clemson is going to beat Ohio State. And listen, before we even get into this, if you're one of these people that's going to come on here and comment with this tired ass bullshit, Clemson don't play nobody. The ACC sucks. It's not fair. Look, you could type it if you want to. But now, look, all that time, that's over. The 4 is set. Deal with it. Deal with it. It's time for the grown folks to talk about football now. Go play in your Outback Bowl or your Belk Bowl or your Citrus Bowl, whatever the hell crap bowl you're playing in. Go play in that and let the big boys talk about big boy football. That's it. Don't make yourself look stupider than you already are. The reason, number 1, where I give Clemson the edge in this, and this is probably going to make some Ohio State fans either feel like I'm being completely a homer or discrediting me or whatever they feel. This is my opinion. From top to bottom, and this is very close, it's not a runaway. Very close. I think I think Clemson is more talented from top to bottom than Ohio State is. And it's close. I think that Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Justin Fields. Okay? Justin Fields playing great. Heisman caliber year. I think Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Fields. Period. I think that Travis Etienne is better than J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is a great player. But I think that Travis Etienne is possibly one of the top 5 or 10 greatest running backs in the history of college football. The history. I know that Ohio State has some great receivers. I mean, they probably got 3 or 4 NFL wide receivers on their offense right now. No doubt. I think that T. Higgins is better than any receiver on their team. Now, obviously, Chase Young is the best defensive lineman in this game. Isaiah Simmons is the best linebacker in this game. Isaiah Simmons is the best linebacker in the country. And he's just won the Buckeyes Award in respect of that. I think the secondaries are both elite. So I think there might be a little bit of a wash there. So I think that slightly Clemson is more talented than Ohio State is. Next. And this is a big one. Let's forget the coaches for a second. Let's talk about players. Experience. Experience in particular in big-time playoff national championship type games. There's not a single player except for the true freshmen who weren't even at Clemson last year. Every sophomore, junior, senior, redshirt sophomore, junior, senior, whatever, anybody that's not a freshman, like I said, a true freshman. Every single one of these players for Clemson has not seen a single year in a Tiger uniform where they were not playing in the playoffs, winning playoff games and national championships. They haven't seen it. Not one of them. This is the most experienced championship team in all these top 4. And it's not even close because Alabama's not in it this year. If Alabama was in it this year, they'd be the only other team that was just as experienced in these games as Clemson will be this year. Okay? So that's big. And this is big, particularly at what most people consider to be the most important position in all of sports. And that would be quarterback, right? Now, Justin Fields is, he's not, this isn't technically his freshman year because he played some snaps at Georgia last year. He wasn't really asked to do anything at Georgia. And this is a whole different ballgame anyways. But, I mean, listen, Trevor Lawrence has never lost a football game. Everybody wants to say how he's played nobody, but he's beat everybody, including Alabama, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. First of all, everybody. It doesn't matter. Everybody. On the biggest stages and has performed his best in the biggest games. Coaching. And this is probably the most important thing, right? Because we see now that it looks like Jeff Scott is going to become the next head coach. For all, if you guys don't know, I'm sure I know all the Clemson fans know, but maybe Ohio State fans don't know who Jeff Scott is. Jeff Scott is a guy who's been on Clemson's staff since 2008, since Dabo Swinney took over, 2009, since Dabo Swinney took over the head coaching job. He's a co-offensive coordinator with Tony Elliott. Jeff Scott is also a positions coach, but he's a co-offensive coordinator with Tony Elliott and has been for a long time. Now, outside of that, I don't know. We'll have to see what's going to happen. I feel like he's probably going to still finish out the season with Clemson. I don't know. Even if he doesn't, that's the good thing about having co-offensive coordinators is that you still have one guy that's been there. There's nobody new coming into that position to fill that role. Elliott will still be there, and Elliott's really the main play caller in the first place. But anyway, that's besides the point. Dabo Swinney compared to Ryan Day. Is Ryan Day a great football coach? He's proved that he is. There's no doubt about that. But Dabo Swinney has literally, listen, this is his 5th straight playoff appearance. He's won 2 national championships. He's got what is it, 9 or 10 straight 10-plus win seasons. I mean, you don't get anybody outside of Nick Saban that's currently active in head coaching in football. There's nobody more experienced than Dabo Swinney, and there's nobody less experienced in this entire group of 4 that's left than Ryan Day in these situations. Now that matters. You can say it doesn't matter, but if you think it doesn't matter, you're kidding yourself. All right. So I think that when you look at the coaching advantage, the experience advantage, and the player advantage, all of these signs point to Clemson should and most likely will come out victorious on December 28th in Arizona. I can already start hearing the excuses. First of all, I want to say this about excuses. Only losers make excuses. If Ohio State goes out on December 28th and beats Clemson in the semifinal of the 2019 college football playoff, I will be the first one, literally the first one, because I'll probably come on the air directly after the game is over, win or lose, and say that Ohio State's the better team. Ohio State deserves to be number 1 in the country or whatever and face LSU or Oklahoma or whoever wins that. Congratulations to Ohio State. But I can already hear the excuses because I'm already starting to see people making these excuses before the game's even being played. Well, this isn't fair. Clemson gets to play these cupcake pansies all year and waltz into the playoffs with no injuries and they're not tired, blah, blah, blah. You've all heard this shit before. It's the biggest loser excuse in the history of sports. Because here's the reality. As far as I know, there's no key players that have season-ending injuries that happened against Wisconsin last week, right? Justin Fields is fine. J.K. Dobbins is fine. Chase Young is fine, right? They're all fine. And these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids for the most part. They have 3 weeks between now and when they kick off in Arizona to rest and heal or whatever the hell you want to say. So I don't want to hear this crap that they're tired and they're banged up. They've got 3 weeks to get untired. When I was 18, it didn't take 2 days for me not to be tired anymore. Let alone 3 weeks. So, if Clemson wins this game, show me the same, or not me, because I'm not a Clemson player, but show Clemson the same respect that Clemson should show you if you win. And don't be throwing the blame card out there, blaming it on what league they play in. Because this whole ACC league thing, Clemson is so far past that as far as the national respect. It's pitiful. It's really pitiful. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And believe me, Clemson's been on the other side. We've been on the receiving end of this before. Alabama's been the man for the past decade. It took Clemson playing in them year in, year out and beating them twice to be the man. Now the burden's on you to be the man, to beat the man. It's as simple as that. And what happened, I don't care about, you can tell me about Ohio State's history, how many national championships they got, and Clemson just got good. I don't care if Clemson never won a football game before 2013. The fact of the matter is, on December 9th, 2019, Clemson is the man. You got to be the man, beat the man to be the man. So show the same respect that I will plan on showing you if the roles are going to be reversed. Also, I want to say this in closing here. And this goes for both teams because forget the fact that we're all fans here and we are somewhat biased. All of us are. Even if you think you're not, you are. And me included. I hope that between now and when the game is kicked off, that we don't see any injuries in practice, that we don't see any players getting in trouble. I don't want any of these from either team to go home for Christmas break, meet up for some fun night with their high school buddies that they used to party with in high school, and do something stupid like get a DUI or decide to take a bong hit with their old buddies from high school for good time's sake and fail a drug test or something stupid. I want everybody to come into this game healthy, happy, and not suspended. Because I want to see the best play the best. And may the best team win. It's that simple. So thank you. Share your thoughts down below about everything I said today. I'm sure listen, feel free to disagree with me. That's fine. I'm sure you will. It's just part of what it is. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get in. Listen, there's a lot to go over here in these next couple of weeks. We got a lot of new coaching hires. We've got a lot of bowl games to talk about. Some of the bowl matchups that came out yesterday are very, very interesting. I'll be getting into all of that. But for now, I'm checking out. Have a good day. Pigskin Pete checking out.